Hello everybody, welcome to another Zabbix video. This time I will talk about Zabbix low-level discovery, but not in a sense how to create a template, how to create the entities. I will talk about resource consumptions and what kind of techniques we can use to locate which low-level discovery takes the most resources, and there can be two categories. Which LLD executes most frequently, that's one category, and which low-level discovery rule executes takes the most time to complete its cycle. And this is it always drives my attention, like how to make it work with by using as little resources as possible. In my personal Zabbix instance, I always set explicitly that there will be only single low-level discovery worker, and that's excellent in a sense of troubleshooting. Like if you have a single process, it's easy to backtrack that process because it will list everything. Like if there is a single process, it lists everything. It's a good source of truth. Okay, let's have a look at first. So low-level discovery executes on Zabbix central server only. It does not execute on the proxy. And to see like the process list, for example, we can grep out Zabbix server, something like that, and .star LLD .star, something like that, enter. And in my instance, I have only one worker. I think out from the box there comes 3 workers. I usually like to experiment and shrink down as much as possible, and then see like what happens. And for the LLD manager, I think like most of the instances are having one manager only. What these two processes both do, like LLD manager, it's kind of like locating the size of the task and like how many tasks we need to do. Like sometimes we need to discover how many drives the Windows server is having, or some how many database in the database, how many wireless access points the management point is holding, and then it gives like LLD manager will sort of like receive the JSON, or maybe I'm wrong, but it will give the task to the worker. Like it will like tell, please dear worker, I have this host object, it's running the template, and here is the JSON, like please deal with it. And the LLD worker needs to really go through all the items, all the triggers, all the graphs, and I mean like validate if definition has been changed while comparing with item prototype, trigger prototype, graph prototype, or host prototype. And it really takes time. Like it takes like 0.1 second to complete, I don't know, 10 entities. And once you have like hundreds of entities, it will take more than 1 second to complete the task. I already know like what will be the title of this video, like how to make it work with the one LLD worker all the time. If we want to do so, we have to pick up the skills how to always see which is the most heaviest low-level discovery, and I will give good hints here in the video. My idea to find the roots with a very high precision is like enable the log level for these two processes. A more silly approach would be to scan the database to look how frequently every rule executes, but it's it's a very vague source. The best source would really be if we have a single process, we enable the log level, and then we study the log, what happens behind the curtains. So enabling the log, this can be like a journey which takes 1 week or 1 day, or maybe even 24/7 all the time. If it's like if it excites you, you can run this troubleshooting method like all the time if you have like one LLD worker. And the beginning of to enable this, like I would visit the server config and work with the log file, like out from the box. The log of Zabbix server can be unlimited size, gigabytes, terabytes. So if we think about enabling this 24/7, we should think about limiting this thing. For example, here instead of unlimited size, I would say like let's keep the Zabbix server log always no more than 100 megabytes. Okay, so that would be the first step, and then like restarting the component, systemctl restart Zabbix server, click, and now like enabling the log level for those two processes, LLD manager and LLD worker. Here would we use command increase. So Zabbix server log level increase. Let's start with the manager, and we would point like either all the categories or explicitly to the process number 1. So this could be a workaround. Like my preference is to run only single LLD worker all the time. You can try this on your serious production as long as we limit to one worker the increased log level. Then it's great. It's like quite safe way to do. So increasing the manager, enter, and we actually need to run this 2 times, and then increasing the worker. Worker, because the category is called worker, enter, enter. To see which level it runs right now, we can use like grep log level and var log Zabbix server and like tail, something like that, enter. And we see like the process which is running with the PID number 65 is now on the 5, and the other one 66 is running in the 5. Like we should not look on this guy because I just restarted the backend. I can like see PS and explain what this PID is, enter, and we clearly see it's manager and PS 66, click, enter, it's the worker. And now it's like if you are keen to explore what exactly this process do, is like we can just like tail the log, something like that, var log. I will not do the full tail actually. Zabbix, okay, I will do grep, and I can do like grep the PID like this. So this would show what the manager is doing. Enter. And we see on the fly what the manager is doing. For the other one, for worker, instead of 65, we use 66. Enter, and now we see details like what. Did I copy correctly? Yeah, it's showing some stuff on screen. Okay, but this video was intended to like straight to the meat. Like I will not ask you to study because I already did the work. And there are some nice grep techniques how we can really summarize what is happening with the instance, and that is here in my cheat sheet. Like asking for the string discovery has been processed. This is something what the manager will produce on screen. If I do this right now, copy and put inside here. And I did produce already, so we can clearly see like it shows I'm working with the rule with this ID, and this is like really ID of the LOL discovery, and we can already copy this guy to the clipboard, visit the front end like discovery, open any random discovery, and just change here item ID with this ID from the log, enter. So now we know in that very second the LLD manager did work with the pod's discovery. But of course we need some statistics here. It would be nice to show the frequency, like sort and unique count, and like sort again with the numbers, and enter. And now we see like now we see real meat, like something executes like already it executed 4 times. We can copy this guy, copy, visit the front end, replace here, and enter. I personally like to go here, like give more conveniences. Like what about like substituting this string directly with the URL, and we can do something like grab the substitute with the sed substitute. What I want to substitute, the beginning of the line until the keyword rule, like this, and let's substitute with this URL over here. Click. And oh my god, my face is there, and let's clear the screen. And okay, substitute here with the sed, and the question symbol is special character and the ampersand symbol is special character. And if I hit enter right now, click, it already produced like a half of the URL correctly, and the end is just missing, and I can continue the substitution. Substitute what I want to substitute, like I want this space has been, substitute with the end of the URL, click, and like this, ampersand is special character, enter, and now it's like the sort query, already produced like the heaviest queries are on the bottom. Maybe we can like tail on the bottom and reverse the order like this. Tack, enter, and now this is the heaviest query by frequency, and I can copy this guy to the clipboard and like blindly copy here, and maybe even in the sed you can include all the URL, that's up to you. And this is from the time of enabling the log level of worker, this is the most heaviest rule. I can see like it relies on the master item. I should like kind of copy this guy, copy, and visit discovery, items, and put that name over here, apply, and we see like this is the master item for me, which did like the frequency is quite big, and it looks like this is also like master item. It depends on this guy, so the root cause is a little bit even different. This is the central item which executes every 1 minute, and it kind of invokes the LLD rule to re-execute. And this is by frequency. If something does not make sense on screen, in a sense like why this is even consuming so much, I can also tell like I'm highly swapping the stuff in the inside the disk, like this server is using the swap space quite frequently, and I'm missing the point here. We are talking about frequency. The next point I will address is locating which rule consumes the most time, and that is that information coming from the worker process. This information was coming from the manager. Like manager will know how frequently we give the task to the worker, and we can query the stats. And now to the worker we can ask something like this, enter, and what we are doing, like please tell their Zabbix log, please tell what the worker 1 is doing. This thing will kind of produce summary. And then there is like an extra line which is telling like which LLD rule is running right now. So the output of this, enter, and we can see like now summaries. LLD worker, it did processed 10 LLD rules, and it took 4 seconds. That's quite fast. Here, 2 rules and like during 12 seconds. Now it sounds serious. How on earth like 2 rules was like during 12 seconds? And the answer is here. And how we should approach this input is like we look on the timestamp. Here we see it's like 13, 45 and 44 seconds. So this is a clock. And the next one is 52. So we know that this in the middle consumes 8 seconds. And yeah, this is the answer. So this low-level discovery rule took 7 or 8 seconds. And now my point about swap space usage is makes some sense. Like I'm running the server in a very limited environment and really scratching the swap area all the time, and maybe it's slow for me because of that swap space. But this will also catch if the LLD rule will really need to work heavily, like the JSON input is big, and then it's like, okay, let's have a look. So it started to execute in 44, and the next one starts only in the 52. So this rule really consumes some time. And to go back in the here, opening any random one, replacing inside the URL, enter, and the answer is like get file systems like master item on this particular server. It's a Windows server, so this is the master item. We can go back in items and also look here. And yeah, this is retrieving JSON, and every 1 minute it is querying the Windows thing. I think there is some errors in my pre-processing. I have removed something, and usually like we are discovering the actually I know what's the problem. It is click and putting back ID the 2 rules. So this is the root cause. Copy, enter, and so this dude is having pre-processing, and the heartbeat just kicked in, and then it did it takes time to process this rule no matter what. And if the LLD JSON does not change, then the heartbeat will really reveal. I mean, heartbeat is the best workaround to start to improve. If you know the content behind the JSON does not change, we can introduce the heartbeat and always like save more and more resources, so the LLD rule does not scratch the database and does not execute so frequently. Okay, that is everything for this topic. I find it very exciting, like always trying to run Zabbix with as little hardware as possible. Like the central server is running the low-level discovery, is responsible about finding new entities in the infrastructure, and then there is like this great tool like pre-processing discard unchanged, which we can always link in certain places to really lower down how busy is the LLD worker process. The reason why it is not implemented in most of the stock templates, because people are impatient. They always want to apply the template. They want to see the results in the next 20 seconds, and then like vendor choose to experience the live experience is more important than like the optimization. But if you go like to the extreme and want to start to really save resources, how frequently the LLD worker is managing the task, and manager is managing the task, and worker is actually like really reading the JSON and going entity by entity, reading reading every item prototype and comparing with the items which are created by that prototype, and reading every trigger prototype and reading every entity which is created by that trigger prototype. Like it takes time. It always consumes like 1 or 3 seconds, and if you have thousands of hosts, it will like make the worker busy, and this is the quite excellent way to track which LLD worker is the biggest bottleneck for the central server. Okay, if you find it useful, this video, give it a thumbs up. All those one-liners used in the video, they are somewhere in the video description, and thanks for watching.